is that they're going to show that Trump was snitching on powerful people.
Bro, this is awesome, dude. These guys are so stupid. That's so awesome. Yeah, man. That's why. No, you got it. Having said that, oh my God, the Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein personal pube woman thing came out that he wrote to Jeffrey Epstein. Oh my Lord, are you joking? He definitely did that, bro. He doodled it. Oh, he doodled it, bro. He doodled. He's a diddler and a doodler. Oh, he was diddling and doodling. What is this? What is this, bro? What are we doing? Oversight, Dems. Posted. Here it is. We got Trump's birthday note that Jeffrey Epstein, the president, said doesn't exist. Trump talks about a wonderful secret the two of them shared. What is he hiding? Release the list. Oh my God. This is the body. This is the body note that Donald Trump wrote and doodled on for Jeffrey Epstein for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday. We finally got it. It's finally out. I love it, dude. That's so stupid. Oh God, it's so perfect. Check the line. Enigmas never age. Yeah, you don't remember that one? Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that, Jeffrey? As a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. Donald J. Trump. Auto pen could never. Yeah, the auto pen could never match a signature. He is so good. He is so good at making signatures. He's the best. He's the best at signing. He's so good at signing. He's the best. And doodling as well. Kind of funny with every new lie he tells, there is a new leak. Yeah, it's awesome. Donald Trump is about to come out and be like, listen, that's not even my full signature. It's my half. It's the half. I only wrote Donald. I never write only Donald. I would write Donald J. Trump, as you know. Believe it. That's gonna be his. That's gonna be his defense. God damn. Or he'll say it's an elephant. What? It's fake. It doesn't say President Donald J. Trump. True. Let's get to the Donald Trump.
You're watching The World with me, Yalda Hakim. More on the French political crisis shortly. For now, breaking news from Washington. Democrats have released a suggestive birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein, signed apparently by Donald Trump. The president firmly denies having anything to do with the letter. Well, let's get the very latest and go to our U.S. correspondent, James Matthews. And James, just bring us up to date, because this has developed in the last half hour or hour or so.
It has, yeah. The story, Yalda, you'll remember, goes back to July. The Wall Street Journal reported that this hand drawing existed, signed Donald, and they were making the link to Donald Trump, although he denies all association. Basically, and I think we can take a look at it because it has now been published, this is a hand drawing of the body of a woman, said to have been collected by Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, now in jail. This was a part of a birthday book.
Amazing.
You know, pulled from friends and given to him before his conviction for his 50th birthday. Now, that woman's form, signed below the waist, Donald, you know, it has, at the top it says voiceover, and
I love that they have to walk through this. I love having like serious commentators and journalists have to like explain this, what they call body drawing. Is so funny.
there is what presumably is an imagined exchange between somebody called Donald and somebody called Jeffrey. Remember, Trump and Epstein were friends for many years. The bottom line reads, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Now, bear in mind, there are many questions about the association between Trump and Epstein and the extent to which there may have been improper associations. Remember, Trump flew on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet. There are pictures of him at parties surrounded well, by female partygoers and others. So one imagines that this can only give traction to those questions, but also to calls for the release of the Epstein files. This image was handed over by lawyers.
So what's up? Donald Trump wanted to sue Rupert Murdoch and Wall Street Journal for saying this report was fake. What's up? What's up with that? Caroline Leavitt had some choice words for this. Said, the latest piece published by the Wall Street Journal proves this entire birthday card story is false. As I've said all along, it's very clear President Trump did not draw this picture and he did not sign it. President Trump's legal team will continue to aggressively pursue litigation. Furthermore, the reporter Joe Palazzolo, who wrote this hatchet job, reached out for comment at the exact same minute he published his story, giving us no time to respond. This is fake news to perpetuate the Democrat Epstein hoax. 2 authenticated letters from the real Donald Trump that sold at 2 separate auctions from Andrew Feinberg, White House correspondent for The Independent. Compare them with the signature on Epstein's birthday letter. Uh-oh. This guy claims, yeah, the D is completely separate and does not... Come on, man. Come on. These guys, oh my God, these guys are on cope mode, dude. They are so, oh, Jesus Christ. They're out of control with the copium. They're like, Donald Trump did not write that, I promise.
As for Epstein's estate, they say in handing over this material.
I'm just wondering when they take the extra leap, okay? I'm wondering when they take the extra leap, the leap of faith, and just firmly commit to the notion that pedophilia is ultimately a good thing if Trump is doing it. Because we're going to get there at a certain point, okay? We're going to get there. I joke about this stuff and it ends up happening. I'm not even joking no more. I'm telling you right now, man, there's going to, they already are testing the waters with a white hat file shit,
Material that they found no evidence of a client list. Remember, there is this wish, this desire, this call for a list of names associated with Epstein. His lawyers, or for his estate, they're saying there is no list of people.
Someone said Tim Pool knew Meta is that Trump was an informant and can't release the files because it would blow his cover. Please send me that link. I need to see it. I need to see that. I need to see that. You have to show me.
People who might have been sex trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. The public, of course, would like to see the whole files and make their mind up. In terms of Trump himself, this is evidence of sorts. He has denied all association with any drawing, of course, said that he doesn't draw pictures of women. And I can tell you, Yalda, that denial continues. His press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, has posted on X within the past few minutes. She says this: the latest piece published by the Wall Street Journal proves this entire birthday card story is false. As I have said all along, it's very clear President Trump did not draw this picture and he did not sign it. President Trump's legal team will continue to aggressively pursue litigation. Furthermore, the reporter who wrote this hatchet job, as she calls it, reached out for comment at the exact same minute he published his story, giving us no time to respond. This is fake news, says Caroline Leavitt.
It's the auto pen. That's right, auto pen. It's the auto pen. The auto pen is the one who did it. Tim Pool says victims of Epstein are Democrat bots created to hurt Trump. Oh, hell yeah. So Jeffrey Epstein is just fake. That's a cool narrative. Does the below signature from the Wall Street Journal look like this actual signature from the president? I don't think so. Fake. Epstein card. Letter to 1995, letter to Lillian Volk. 1999 letter to Larry King. Why is it so hard for them to believe that Donald Trump, who was literal best friends with Jeffrey Epstein at the time, would send him this strange letter and sign it? Like, there are a million photos of them side by side. Are we joking? Like, what are these guys denying here? It doesn't make any sense. To deny this is to deny the reality that you can see with your eyes. Like, the actual thing that you should be saying is, oh, it's embarrassing, but he didn't know he was a pedophile, and he stopped hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein after he found out. He sussed out the bad vibes, and he didn't hang out with them, unlike Bill Clinton, you stupid liberal. Like, that's what you're supposed to say. The counter, if we lived in like a normal universe where political discourse wasn't just like, nah, I don't believe you. I don't believe my lying eyes either. I clawed them out with my thumbs so I don't see these photos no more. Like, That narrative, the proper narrative, the proper counter messaging campaign is supposed to be Donald Trump knew Epstein was bad vibes. He stopped hanging out with him. And yet all these famous Democrats actually hung out with him after he was outed as a pedophile, right? That's what you're supposed to say if you're like even remotely competent as a Republican messenger. The problem is you don't even need to be remotely competent anymore. You can just say, nope, don't believe you. It's fake news. And that's it. Like, there are a million photos of Donald Trump. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were filmed together almost as much as and Hunter Biden were filmed together. Okay? It seems like anytime Jeffrey Epstein was out and about, Donald Trump was right there. All right? Hanging out with the guy for a very long time. Just like whenever there's cocaine around Hunter Biden, he was like, let me bust out the phone. We have to take a photo of this occasion. You understand? Which is why all these other counter narratives are so stupid. The ones that are being launched by the right are so stupid. Adam says, weirdly underrated how incriminating this is. Literally no plausible innocent explanation. What was the secret enigma they cryptically referred to over the picture of a naked woman? Interior decorating tips? Perhaps a pound cake recipe? Maybe they had a laugh playing Dungeons and Dragons and it was so funny it couldn't be put in letter form. Many possibilities. Yeah, the secret enigma that they cryptically refer to is children. Not only doodling, but also diddling. Okay? Enigma is an anagram for the word gammon. Oh, stop. Oh, you guys don't have to. You guys, it's not enough. It's not enough that he uses the word enigma. You have to do anagrams. Man, please, man. It just fucking stick to what's in front of you. Okay? God damn. Holy moly, liberals are so crazy, bro. You have to look for a dog. Donald Trump could literally come out and openly declare that he's a pedophile, and liberals would be like, what is the hidden underlying message here? What is it? I think it's got to be like an American thing, right? It's got to be this like weird American thing where, I mean, I guess everybody does numerology. I remember when I was in Turkey, there was people who would tell me about like different surahs in the Quran, you know? Everybody loves uncovering a deep secret. It's got to be. There's got to be another cryptic thing. Bro said he has a secret enigma that they share with one another. That's it. It's not, it doesn't have to also be an additional layered cake of secrets. And no, I don't think he was drawing a child either. I think he was just drawing a woman. He wasn't purposely drawing like small breasts. Okay. This is just a shittily drawn woman. Okay. But there's also additional parts of the Wall Street Journal article that are even more damning. There's a photo of Jeffrey Epstein with a giant novelty check implying Trump sold him a woman for $22,500. The Epstein estate also turned over another letter from the book that references Trump. It came from a businessman and longtime Mar-a-Lago member Joel Pascoe, who made a crude joke about a woman that Trump and Epstein socialized with in the 1990s, according to people familiar with the matter. The Pascoe letter included a photo of a poster board size check for $22,500, which had been mocked up to appear that it was sent from Trump to Epstein. Beneath it, a handwritten caption said, Jeffrey showing early talents with money plus women sells fully depreciated, redacted to Donald Trump for $22,500. The woman's name is redacted in the image. Pascoe and his attorney didn't respond to a request for comment. A lawyer for the woman said she doesn't know Pascoe and has no knowledge of the letter naming her, which the lawyer called disgusting and deeply disturbing hoax. Trump was listed under the Friends section of the book's table of contents along with Clinton and about 20 other associates, the Journal reported. Trump and Epstein socialized in the 1990s in Palm Beach, Florida. Trump flew on Epstein's private jet, flight logs show. Epstein was photographed multiple times at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Jeffrey showing early talents with money plus women sells fully depreciated, bleep, name, to Donald Trump for $22,500. Showed early people skills too. What is this? Even though I handed the deal, I didn't get any of the money on the gain or game on the goal. What is this? I doubt this actually is proof that Epstein sold Trump a woman. The girl? Oh, the girl. Any money on the girl? Yeah, I doubt this is actually proof that Epstein sold Trump a woman, but at the very least, it shows that they at least knew what Epstein was doing and thought it was funny. Oh, even though I handled the deal, I didn't get any of the money or the girl. Oh, you found the Tim Pool? You found the Tim Pool clip. Let's go, fam. All right. This is from the Majority Report. We'll take a look at that in a second. So obviously this doesn't look too good for Donald Trump. Now, not only does this not look too good for Donald Trump, but one of the other idiotic counter narratives that was launched came from House Speaker Mike Johnson. I covered it immediately as soon as it came out. House Speaker Mike Johnson, representative Republican from Louisiana, came out with a hot statement that we had not heard before. One that I had joked about for years and years at this point, that Donald Trump was a white hat file. Okay. Now it turns out that is unironically how these dipshits thought they could get away from this conversation. Mike Johnson said, well, Donald Trump was an FBI informant trying to take down Jeffrey Epstein. Here he is responding to CNN when asked, CNN's Manu Raju, when asked.
What do you mean by that?
What I was referring to in that long conversation was what the victim's attorney said. More than a decade ago, President Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, and he was one of the only people, one of the only prominent people, as everyone has reported, not President Trump, but everybody about him, that he was willing to help law enforcement go after this guy who was a disgusting child abuser, sex trafficker, all the allegations. That's what they heard. So the president was helpful in that. I don't know if I use the right terminology, but that's common knowledge, and everybody knows that. So this is much ado about nothing.
Did the president tell you this specifically about his involvement?
I was recounting what others have said. The president and I have talked about the Epstein evils many times. He's as disgusted by it as everybody else. He has long had a history of acknowledging that, and he has said repeatedly he wants...
Dog, you said he was an FBI informant. The f*** do you mean? And you can't just like common knowledge your way out of this. It's clearly not common knowledge. What do you mean it's common knowledge that he was an FBI informant? Now, what's also really funny about using FBI informant as the term here, as a specific term here, is that FBI informants don't just become FBI informants out of the blue. That still unironically implies that he was children. The FBI caught him and turned him into a state's witness. So even your counter narrative here, this made up thing that you made up, also still cooked Donald Trump, okay? It still cooked Donald Trump because you came out and you were like, hey, my guy, Donald Trump, was kids. And then the FBI caught him, and then he turned into a state's witness to take out Jeffrey Epstein. So he wasn't just kids for himself. In the aftermath of being caught, he kids for the state. Okay? Because that's what you're saying. Like, you're saying he was children for the state, for the betterment of mankind, to take out a guy who was even more kids than he was. That's an insane thing to say, dude. My guy Donald Trump wasn't just kids for the love of the game. He was doing it for the state. He hated it. He hated diddling kids. He just did it for you and me. That's insane, dude.
Everything to come out, all credible information, everything for the American public to decide.
Was he ever asked to wear a wire or anything like that?
I have no idea. No, I'm not saying that. I have no information about that whatsoever. I was repeating what has been common knowledge for a long time. The president was helpful in trying to get Epstein, for the law enforcement to go after Epstein. That's always been my understanding. That's common knowledge. It's the public's understanding. I was not breaking news there, okay? What I'm trying to emphasize is that the president is as disgusted about this as everyone is, all people of good conscience. We heard from the victims last week. It was gut-wrenching to hear their accounts. Many of them came out here and did it to a broader audience, to the public. But there's as many as 1,000 other victims, hundreds of young women, now some of them middle-aged women, who were subjected to these abuses for a long, long time, and justice is long overdue. So we're not just investigating Epstein and what happened, but why the justice system failed these women for so long. That is why the House Oversight Committee is on this so aggressively, and as you saw the latest developments, I think Chairman Comer and some other members are going down to Florida. They're going down to the Epstein estate to look at visitor laws at the estate. By the way, none of this is encompassed in the discharge petition, Gambit. This is what the Oversight Committee is tasked to do. That is what they are doing in a bipartisan fashion. You have very aggressive members on both sides of the aisle that are on it, and we are greatly comforted by that. So we fully support it.
Okay, thank you.
Listen, someone had to diddle. He is a hero. Yeah. In my head canon, he walked it back because he saw your tweet. Yeah. No. So he walked it back, but you know who's galloping in that direction? Tim Pool.
Arms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this.
Now, there's a couple theories on this. One is that Mike Johnson let slip this statement to try and protect Trump's reputation. There's also that, basically like, oh, did you know he was an FBI informant stopping it? That's why. Or I think there's a strong possibility here. I don't know for sure. I'm not saying I trust Trump on any of this stuff. Elon says he's in the files, whatever. Let's get the files and figure it out. But let's at least entertain. Did Speaker Mike Johnson maybe accidentally just slip up that Trump was an FBI informant? And the reason why Trump doesn't want the documents released is that they're going to show that Trump was snitching on powerful people.
Bro, this shit's awesome, dude. These guys are so stupid. That's so awesome. Yeah, man. That's why. No, you got it. Yeah, Trump really would hate to look like a hero. He would hate to look like a hero in this Epstein story for sure. Okay? He would hate to take credit for Jeffrey Epstein's downfall.
It's prominent, wealthy individuals doing untoward things, and the documents are going to show that Donald Trump was a snitch.
Listen, we can't in any way have anybody find out that I am snitching on a file.
Where is I want to see the original though. I don't want, no disrespect to Uncle Sam here, but I don't want the interjection and I don't want the commentary. I want to see the OG. Do you guys have the OG? Because you sent me the majority report version, but I need to see it. I need to see the OG. I need to see Tim Pool without any cuts, or if there's cuts, I'm going to be the one pausing it.
But if the documents show that Trump was working with law enforcement to stop this, that's not damaging to Trump's reputation among his voters. It's damaging to Trump's reputation among powerful elites he needs to do deals with.
Oh, that's right, brother. Why didn't I think of this, man? Why didn't I think of this? This is incredible. 236,000 views, by the way. People are so desperate for that copium that Tim Pool is even doing better numbers than he did before for this one. Because if you look at his other videos, like his videos are not doing good. Okay. His videos are doing dog. Okay. Chicago Mexican Festival canceled over ICE raids, 20,000, 10,000. There has been a noticeable downturn for all of the OG right-wing content creators. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not. It feels like there is a finite amount of right-wing watchers out there, and they've all gravitated towards Asmongold. They're all gravitating towards Asmongold. The old guard, Carter is right. I said this already. The old guard of the Republican Party online, their messaging machine is dead. Okay? The Daily Wire, dead. Tim Pool, dead. They got nothing. They got nothing going on. We haven't watched any of their shit either. We haven't watched any of their stuff because like they got nothing. You got Fem Shabibo, Brett Cooper, okay? The female Gen Z Ben Shabibo. And you got Asmongold, and you got like a consortium of different like Theo Vaughns, and every now and then they have like right-wing takes or whatever. Theo Vaughn isn't even like a right-winger fully, but you got like you got Nick Fuentes popping off. You got Tucker Carlson. You got Candace Owens, and you got mostly people that have created this like very different right-wing coalition. Maybe a little bit of Charlie Kirk too, as far as like the old guard, but it kind of feels like no one is touching the Asmongold reign on right-wing content. One thing I've noticed, with the exception of like Charlie Kirk and Asmongold, is that they're also very anti-Israel. Like all of the independent right-wing content creators are openly anti-Israel. Some of them are also openly anti-Semitic, but every single one of them are openly anti-Israel. Even the independent audiences on the right demand anti-Israel content. So like everyone that refuses to do that on the right have been eating an ass non-stop. Interesting stuff.
So the Democrats might be thinking it's going to help Trump. If we leak files showing that Trump stopped Epstein, people are going to cheer for him.
Right.
Trump may be saying, if they find out that I ratted on Bill Gates and Bill Clinton and I was the one actually spying on him or wore a wire or did who knows what, these people aren't going to want to do deals with his business. If Trump was snitching on
So in this universe, Bill Gates has children with Jeffrey Epstein, and Donald Trump knew about it, and Donald Trump is worried that he can't continue doing business with a pedophile? Is that the argument you're presenting right now? That Donald Trump ratted on Jeffrey Epstein for pedophilia, okay? But then also that all these other pedophiles won't be able to keep doing business with Trump if they find out that Trump was the rat? What are you saying? Why the Donald Trump, if he's so expressly anti-pedophilia, why would he want to continue doing deals with Bill Gates? Also, all of these elites are still working with the White House currently, including Bill Gates. So what does that mean? That Trump knows that these guys have children but is still working with them? None of this makes sense. This does not make logical sense. Okay? This defies logic. Donald Trump doesn't want the elites to find out that he was the main guy that participated in Jeffrey Epstein's downfall. That's why he just keeps saying it's a Democrat hoax. That's why he keeps saying it's a Democrat hoax, that his name was inserted into the files by Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. Who the watches this guy, man? This is, I mean, apparently nobody except for this video. This video hit. It is the highest amount of views that Tim Pool has gotten in the last couple of months. Apparently this is the one video where people are like, all right, I'll tune in to see what Tim Pool has to say about this situation.
Prominent world leaders. I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying I believe that's the case, but it could be an explanation. Trump was a snitch. I'm gonna put it this way. I'm gonna paint Trump in the worst possible light in this regard. Trump only cared about himself. He only cared about his organization. When he heard about what Epstein was doing, he said this.
I guess they believe it. They're saying it's not snitching when it involves the safety and protection of children. Exposing doesn't make you a snitch. It makes you a whistleblower and a hero. Anybody who calls someone a snitch who's trying to out child predators, they deserve the chair also. Epstein is on record saying he thought Trump was involved in taking him down. I love it when decades-old information hits the mainstream like this. It's frustratingly late, but I'm still grateful to finally come around to it. Like, yeah, these guys are unironically so delusional that they are willing to believe this completely insane narrative that the guy who was besties with Jeffrey Epstein, who has actively chosen to undermine the investigation, who's actively chosen not to release this information, is actually doing so because he's worried that people are going to call him a snitch. That is insane. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. The only way this makes sense in your mind is because you think Trump is infallible and you want to believe that he's on the right side on this. You cannot get yourself to believe that he was also involved with Jeffrey Epstein in a positive way.
This is exposure I don't need. And when the FBI came to him about Epstein, he says, I'll do whatever you want. I'll help you out. And they say, wear a wire, give us a list of names. What if Trump gave ledgers from his club to the FBI? What's going to happen to Mar-a-Lago when all of the people who spend their 20 grand, I think it's like 200 grand to sign up or something, maybe I'm wrong, but it's like 20 grand a year or something. What's going to happen when a bunch of these people find out that their names and private information were handed over to the feds as part of a criminal investigation into Epstein or to illicit activities? What if Trump was informing more than just Epstein? What if Trump was feeding the FBI information on tons of cases about prominent, powerful elites? That would be extremely bad for Trump's business and his dealings with powerful elites, so much so that he'd be like, we can't release this stuff. It would destroy my family's business, my legacy. If people find out that I was basically a spy for the federal government against powerful elites, the populace His voter base might be like, wow, Trump was actually trying to stop bad people. That's not what the powerful people are going to think, though. They're going to think, destroy this guy. I want revenge.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know how true this is. I'm interested in finding out more, but I will say this is actually it's more believable that he was an FBI informant than that he was a KGB informant, like it was asserted by what's his name. So
Jonathan Chait.
Yeah, Jonathan Chait. So I think that and also it would be a good thing because it would prove that he's more patriotic than Jonathan Chait would think as well.
I guess it's cool. It's cool to see like people just actively entertain hallucinations, like actively entertain like getting psychosis in an effort not to just like rip the Band-Aid off. That's what it is. We're watching. I wouldn't even say these guys are in a cult though, honestly, because like I think Tim Pool doesn't care about anything. I think he's just a grifter. And I guess now they've moved on about the actual details that keep coming out about Trump's involvement. And instead going, oh, the Democrats don't even care about Epstein. They don't even care about his victims. That's why they were silent about it for years. The only thing they care about is concocting another fake scandal like Russiagate to smear President Trump with their lies. No one's falling for their BS. I don't know, man. Kind of feels like the you could say that under different circumstances, okay? You could prove that that is the case by releasing the Epstein files, okay? Do you see what I mean? Because if you were interested in releasing the Epstein files, then you could just present to the Democrats the Epstein files and say, you see, this is what they didn't want you to see when they were leading the country, when they were the administration in charge. They didn't want you to see it, but we promised transparency as the Republicans, and therefore you're going to get it. But they're not doing that. They're the ones who are actually holding out. That is the only reason why people have this kind of anger and resentment towards the administration, even those who are in the base of support. Hannah Gase jokingly says, Trump didn't know about Epstein, or he did, but he didn't know about his proclivities. Well, maybe he did, but he didn't share them. Actually, on second thought, everything Trump did was to catch Epstein for the feds. There is no birthday card. He didn't write that card. Trump couldn't write. He doesn't know how to doodle. He's not a diddler. But even if he is a diddler, he was diddling for good. And he was doodling for good as well. For a greater good. It's awesome.